Anyways, hi.
Hello.
This is weird because I've been a guest on your podcast before, and now you're a
Yes.
guest on my podcast.
What goes around comes around.
The difference being that my podcast has a total of 4 completely unrelated episodes, and yours has how many now?
Uh, Almost 500.
Okay, so I'm just a little behind, but I'm sure I'll get there someday.
My name is Mary Kate Johnson. I am a dual certified English and English as a new language teacher at Kenmore West High School.
Come in.
Hi.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Why?
We're doing an interview.
Huh?
We're doing an interview.
Oh, sorry.
Always disrupting me.
You're very popular. People bug you a lot. What's it like having friends?
Hi, my name is Mohana Dia. I am Hannon's coworker at Southside. I am an 11th grade English teacher.
Cool. We're so professional.
I have a very long history of how I got to be a teacher because it wasn't something that I ever wanted to do for the longest time. I wanted to work in theater, and eventually, after a series of unfortunate events in my life, I came to education.
Very much got my love from English from my dad. The love for reading, really. That is kind of where it all started. I was born here, but my parents, they took me to Bangladesh immediately. I was there for like 2 years as a baby. So I grew up learning Bangla first before English. So when we came back to America and I started kindergarten, my kindergarten teacher, she recommended to my dad, my mom and dad, like, take her to the library. Take her to the library, get her to read books. And that's kind of where it started. And my dad would take me to the library every other day or every weekend, and we would check out a bunch of books, and he would sit with me and read. There are so many pictures of me as a baby, as a little toddler with books and my dad. And the very first thing I wanted to be when I grew up was a teacher. And that answer has changed a multitude of times throughout the years. It's not like teaching was something that I always wanted to do. That answer has definitely changed from teacher to like ballerina to Cinderella to many different things. Like, yeah, Cinderella was a real thing. I saw Cinderella cleaning and I was like, I want to do that. And my mom was just like, not the prince part. I was like, I don't care about the prince. I care about the cleaning part.
Alarm at 7 a.m. I know I should set my alarm earlier. I'm a night owl who can't adjust to waking up early, and I tell myself that I need every minute of sleep if I'm going to function for a whole day. Hit snooze. I really should set it for 6:45. I should probably set it for 6:30. The alarm insists at 7:05 that it really means it this time. I stare at my alarm for 5 minutes until the echo of discipline comes drifting down from a 10-year-old me who needs the push to get out of bed. Feet on the floor, my dad yells at 10-year-old me. The U.S. Army yells at my dad. Fine. I hop up. Closet. Does this shirt go with these pants? No, that bar's too high. Is this shirt acceptable with these pants? Okay, good to go. Brush my teeth. Wet my hair so it's not sticking up. This will be easier when I'm bald in 10 years.
I am very strict about my bedtime, so that's like the first thing. I go to bed every single night diligently at 10 o'clock on the dot. I set my alarm for 6:20ish. I like giving myself the time to wake up in the morning to like be alert. If my alarm goes off one time, I just hit it and I'm up.
I am not a morning person. I do not enjoy waking up in the morning. It is very difficult for me to do that. So basically, I get up way later than I need to, despite my first alarm being like 2 hours before I need to be at work. I run around like a crazy person, like try to find everything that I have then forgotten where I put since the day before. Like this morning when I could not find my phone or my keys or my work ID and was like, well, this is going to be a very good day. And like throw everything together and rush to work.
On the drive, I listen to my iPod. I've been doing an insane thing and listening to my entire music library in alphabetical order on the drive. It's been almost 2 years and I've just started the letter M. Today I'm blasting Mariana Trench. I should get to Maroon 5 by the end of the week, and Maximum the Hormone before spring break. Yeah, that should wake me up.
When you're out in your car, turn the radio on. Am I crawling out the speaker? Am I sitting?
I just drive to work. I do listen to music. It's been like it's a mix of many different genres.
Then forgotten. I'm the smoke.
I'm into this artist named Maisie Peters. She is a British tiny blonde singer and she did this song with the guy from Mumford and Sons. She sounds like a British Sabrina Carpenter, but less horny.
Well, most people are. I probably shouldn't include that.
No, probably not.
That's fine.
There are pieces of me in your strawberries, in your hallways, these walls that talk. I swear they'd scream. Am I there on your brain? Do these things you change?
This way.
Yeah, this way.
The morning meeting is in the grade chair's room. Ms. Woes gives us our reminders from administration. A family iftar dinner is coming up next week, and many teachers signed up to help. Mr. Zhu reminds us that the field trip to Buffalo Battlegrounds is coming up on April 2nd. The 9th grade dean updates us on their efforts to speak to the parents of chronically absent kids.
Thank you.
And a student from Section E is getting bullied for his smell. After the meeting, I will walk up to the teacher's lounge to print my sheets for the day. If I have a lot of printing, I'll try to do it the day before, but if I only have 1 or 2 sheets, I tend to procrastinate. It's a bad habit.
I typically have my things printed 2 to 3 days in advance. I walk in my door, set my bag down, turn on my candle lamp, turn on the lamp, turn on the board, set up the PowerPoint slide, the audiobook, the annotation notes.
I walk back down to my room and turn on my smartboard. Every morning I have to log in. Every morning. I set out the crate that holds students' writing notebooks and turn on my neon wall light in the shape of a fat cat reading a book. The back of the room has a couch, 2 small faux leather chairs, and 4 bookshelves filled with hand-me-down titles from previous teachers, random book sales, and occasional friends and family. I'd like to curate it a little more carefully, but I struggle to find the time. How's it going? You didn't come out for track this year. You didn't come out for track this year. I was hoping you were going to.
So all of my students are English language learners. Our department makes its own schedule, really. So we all have first period planning.
Oh, that's nice.
So we all so we get to work, we eat our breakfast at our desks, talk to each other, figure out, is there any meetings that we have to deal with that day? Are there any testing requirements or documents that we need to have prepared? Because being an ENL teacher, all of our students have testing accommodations, and they often have things where we have to talk to their counselors about different requirements or modifications that are needed for certain things. We don't do the same things that a pull out ENL teacher would do with just language. I do get to teach English content and then just modify it for their need.
My first period only has 6 students in it. It was supposed to be a repeater section, but due to some scheduling mishap, one actual freshman ended up in it. I feel bad for her. She's a good student, and she's stuck in here with students who are taking the class for the second or third time. 2 of the students are identical twin sisters. Fortunately, one of them dyed their hair red, so it isn't difficult to tell them apart. When they were freshmen, I had to look really closely to see which one had a bit of a gap in their eyebrow. I'm nervous for them because their effort is so inconsistent, and I don't want them to fail again. I'm resigned to some students not making it. There's not much you can do if a kid only comes to school one day a month. It's the ones who are here every day, who are going to be close, that make me nervous. Second period is a planning period. I like this because it gives me a chance to pivot if something clearly didn't work in my first class. It needs to be a strong pivot though, as I then teach 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th period with only 20 minutes for lunch.
My day is very hectic because I don't teach the same class over and over again. Like some people teach 3 English 9 classes. I teach English 11, English 10, English 8. Then I have lunch. Then I teach English 9. And then I have a 12-to-1 special ed class that I push into. And then I teach English 12. So all 6 of my day, parts of the day are...
Because they're all different preps.
All different preps.
I mean, it's nice, I guess, that you're used to it from St. Andrews being a nightmare, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah, so it is.
I have 2 preps and I can barely handle it.
It is a lot, I will say, yeah. So I did used to work at a Catholic school where I had 8 different preps. But the nice thing is my classes range from 6 to 13 students. I would rather read 6 of the same essays and then 6 different essays than read the same essay 50 times.
Most of the period will be taken up by students scanning a list of argument essay topic ideas, jotting down ones that look interesting. I wanted to make sure that they all got really meaningful feedback, so I went through and I gave lots of comments and everything, and I realized I was spending 20 minutes per story.
For me, I look at what was the purpose of the assignment first. My 10th graders had to write a short essay, but our specific focus was on blending quotations into a paragraph.
You mostly focused your
So I
feedback on that
focused
one
my
thing,
feedback
just on the quotes.
on the quotations and how
Right.
they used, because that was the purpose of the writing.
It's easy for me to give feedback on paper, but it's even easier for me to give it in person. I found that I could just like I'll have like catch up days, or there'll be like workbook days or assignment days where they're just like strictly working, and those will be the days where I call them up like one by one to my seat and I'll be like, okay, it's feedback time, and I do it in person with them instead of just like stressing myself out and being like, oh my god, I have to get all this done, 100 something kids, and they're not even gonna glance at it and they're gonna toss it out.
As much as it would be great to be able to give everyone a page and a half of feedback, they are not going to read it anyway, especially when you work with low level readers. First big word they don't understand, they've stopped paying attention. So I try to make sure that my feedback is very
My kids are not ENL kids, but they do
Right.
the same thing.
yes. So yeah, and I mean for mine that's a language concern, but for most high schoolers, they just want to know what grade they got and if they're going to pass the class.
Yeah.
They don't appreciate the feedback the way you do as you're older. Like my seniors appreciate the feedback, my freshmen don't.
And I realized I was spending like 20 minutes per story. And
Yeah.
then I did the math on that, and I was like, oh wait, if I spend 20 minutes on each student's work, and there's 100 students, that is 40 hours
Right.
of just grading.
I use my prep times not to literally prep for work. I use that to grade. Because typically with my prep, like in terms of lesson plans, setting up the pacing plan, I try to get that done when like my prep periods aren't being used to grade. So I try to like maximize my 2 off periods or like my lunch, because I don't like eating at work.
It comes and goes in waves. I sometimes have weeks where I manage to get everything graded at school and I don't even bring my work computer home with me. And then I have weeks where every class had a narrative due the same week, and there was no way that a 40-minute plan period was going to be enough to read them all. I do try to prioritize my own self-care, because like I did work at a Catholic school for a very long time where I did not have time and I had far too much to grade. I had 8 preps, and I actually have a picture saved in my phone one time of the writing class that I was teaching, and every single journal that I had to fit, like physical journal that I had to bring home for these kids in their writing class. And I ended up having to go to the chiropractor trying to carry these journals back and forth to school.
So I don't stress myself out, because my first year at Buff Sci, it was terrible in terms of like I was bringing work home, I was stressed, I wasn't spending time with my family, I wasn't, able to juggle things properly. It took me like, I want to say 5 or 6 months into the school year to be like, okay, I need like an intervention. And like I realized I needed intervention on how to like juggle and mitigate like work-life balance. And now I just tell myself like, nope, don't take work home with you.
A lot of teacher burnout happens because people don't prioritize their own family and their own well-being. So I try to keep work at work as much as possible. I probably, between planning and grading, I probably spend at most an hour a day outside of school working on it.
This rhetoric unit is actually my favorite unit, and it's the one that most directly inspired me to be an English teacher. The skill gap that I most want to help my students with is critical thinking. Yes, I want them to be able to put themselves in a character's shoes, appreciate beautiful language, and get excited about good stories. But I believe the ELA skill most important for them to take into their adult lives is the ability to read critically and express their thinking effectively. Effective communication is as important for a lawyer arguing a case as it is for a plumber buying an ad in the paper.
A lot of people are just like, in our culture, they're just like, oh, like, yeah, teaching is like a very noble profession, but no one really thinks it's okay to do. They're like, yeah, like teaching is like, oh my God, like it's a very noble thing. You're changing lives, this and that. Easy to say, they don't actually feel it. They're just like, you don't make money though. You're poor, you're broke. But no, my parents, they didn't care. They're just like, no, this is what you're good at. This is what you've always been good at.
The most important thing a teacher can do is expose students to the world. It is important that you learn and grow from your families, from your parents, from an academic standpoint, but the world is more than that. The world is more than your neighborhood. There's also an understanding of how to be a better person that only comes from understanding other people's motivation. For me, books teach us how people operate, and by seeing that and understanding that, it helps us decide how we want to operate.
The one thing that my teaching philosophy and like motivation is to build more human connection. I have been shaped by a lot of what I've read. I've been shaped by the people that I interact with, be it my father, my teachers, my siblings, my coworkers, my students. I'm constantly shaped by human connection on a day-to-day basis, and I want that to work for them as well, be it through what I say, be it through what another teacher says, be it through their discussions with each other, be it in their writing if they choose not to share it out loud. That is a way for them to develop and grow as an individual, and that is all I could hope for. That is the main thing that I want. That's my main reason for teaching, for there to be more human connection in this world that is so crazy, and there's such a lack of it. To like really appreciate the finer things in life, because we really don't. Like, people do, and that inspires a lot of hope, but for them to like have that little aha moment, like, oh, hey, I kind of really like that, and for that to just kind of like propel more growth in them eventually, like as they, discover things that they like and don't like. So more human connection.
Beautifully put.